Hi, you've reached Prophetess Chastity Daniel with my Prophetess Thought of the Day. And my thought for today is one job. One job. So God says on today that we have one job. You have one job. And you have one job. And you have one job. I have one job. That job is to be a good steward of what God has given us to do. And so a steward manages or looks after another's property, or is a person who is responsible to take care of something. So we're taking care of what God gave us to do because it is God's property. So if you are a pastor, you have a church, your church belongs to God. God allows you, called you, hopefully he called you. You didn't call yourself. Hopefully God called you to be a pastor, prophet, apostle, etc. in his church building, to deliver the message, to be a shepherd over the sheep, to care for the flock, etc., etc., etc. God expects you to be doing that, not filling your pockets while the sheep go without. Ashata. Not getting rich. We're not celebrities. God has caused some of us to be famous. There are famous pastors out here, and that's fine, but you have to have a humble spirit. It says, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, and in due time, he will exalt you. And that's why many times God has taken me this direction. That's why many times these ministries don't go any further. That's why many times these churches, no matter how many prophetic words you've gotten from God about a bigger building or a larger ministry, or even if you hear God for yourself, yes, God already has done it all. He has it for us, but God gives us what we're ready for. Are you a good steward of those few members you have? Are you a good steward of the building you have now? Because God says there are people who have churches in their homes that are more effective than some of these people who've been given church buildings. It's about the sheep. It's never about us. It's not about me. It's about Jesus. Prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. It's never about us. It's not about us wanting to be seen. God is reminding me in James 4 where it speaks of asking amiss. Why do you want these things? God looks at the heart. Why do you want a bigger ministry? What is your purpose for wanting to be in ministry? Many of these churches are not even doing outreach. The church as a whole is about outreach. It was never the government's job to take care of the people. It's the job of the church, and that's the church collectively. But those of you who have church buildings, are you, as he just keeps taking me to James 4, let me go with God. Are you consuming it upon your lust? Are you taking money and consuming it upon your lust? Is it about you and how you want to look and what you want to drive and what you want to live in? And God doesn't mind us having nice things. I don't preach a one-sided gospel. I preach the truth. God doesn't mind us having, but we are to be good stewards. God is saying right now, where is the outreach? People are outside of your church, all around the city, homeless, single women with children that need a little help, need food, need clothes. All this money coming in, this is part of being a good steward. Are you stewarding what God gave you? Because again, it's God's. It's not just because it says Chastity Daniel Ministries. It's God. I'm the face of it, but it's God's ministry. Let's go to James 4. Verse 3. Verse 2. You lust and have not. You kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you have not because you ask not. You ask and receive not because you ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lusts. Basically, he's saying you're asking things for the wrong reason. You want a daycare for the wrong reason. You're running your daycare, you're competing against your neighbor. etc., etc. If you're in competition, if you're jealous hearted, if you're trying to do more than the next person, God looks at the heart. So many times, this is your answer. This is somebody's answer, which is why you haven't seen that thing come into fruition that God promised you. What is your motivation? God says today, what is your motivation? Why do you want this? If your motivation isn't right, you're never going to see it come into fruition. That's just what it is. So we want to be good stewards. And you know, the scripture reference, Matthew 25, verse 14 through 29, it gives the example of the householder who left and he put his servants in charge of the household. He distributed talents. He gave one five, which you can read for yourself. But the ones that were responsible, he said, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been great over a few things. Now I can make you ruler over many things. And this is an example of God and what he's saying. You know, if you've been faithful evangelist with that small thing that he told you to do, because nothing is small in God's eyes. If he told you to start a Facebook page and just minister and stay on Facebook for as long as he wants you there, you know, be faithful with that thing. Many times, you know, especially when we've already seen different visions and promises that God has made, we want that thing. Or again, God is speaking of a covetousness, and he's really been speaking this morning about people coveting other people's assignments and other people's gifts. And, you know, oh, well, she wrote a book. You know what? I think I'm going to write a book. Well, maybe God didn't tell you to write a book. Not for his glory, not for what he has called you to do. Maybe he told you to just usher for right now and be the best usher you can be. Be the best parking lot attendant you can be. Again, I'm getting daycare worker. Run that daycare with those 5 children like you have that large daycare that you want, that building that you want with 30, 50, 100 children. But be a good steward of the headshot Bahia. You've been faithful with a few things, then I can make you ruler over many things. Oh my God, but we want to jump ahead. We want to leap. Again, God says, one job, do that one job faithfully.